to a bit of a mobility routine here. So this is all about making sure that your body is primed and ready to move. Whether it's doing your strength training, whether it's doing your cardio, it doesn't really matter. You should be moving your body. So what I would firstly recommend is you do try and warm your body up first if you can. So this can just be a gentle walk around the block, or it can be something a little bit more intense, 5 to 10 minutes on a treadmill, a rower, elliptical, whatever it might be. But if you do not have time to warm up, or if it's literally just a quick mobility session that you feel like you need to loosen up those joints from sitting down for a little while, that's fine, you can skip that. So once you have warmed up for 5-10 minutes, got your heart rate up a little bit, you're feeling a little bit warmer, then what I want you to do is I want you to do a mobility routine. You can do this mobility routine as your warm-up, but you just need to be mindful that you might not be able to move into the same range of movement as you would if you have already warmed up doing some form of cardio, whether it's walking or on the treadmill. What we're going to do is we're just going to start from the upper body. You can do this in any order you want, but this is how I'm going to remember it. So, starting from the upper body, we're going to go with our neck. So we just want to look from side to side, going as far as you can go, but not to outside your range of movement. There shouldn't be any pain. So looking from side to side. Then what I want you to do is I want you to look up and then look down, just tuck that chin. And again, just go as far as you can. You might have felt some tightness in the back of your neck, especially if you sit at desk all day. Then we're going to move into our shoulders. So looking into our shoulders here, we're going to outstretch our arms and we're just going to take some small circular motions. You're just going forwards for now. Do about 10 to 20 of these. And then what you're going to do is go slow and steady on the way back as well. So just 10 to 20 going backwards too. Once you've done that, what I want you to do is I want you to pop your hands onto your shoulders and we're going to start opening them up a little bit more. So you're going to bring everything forward and then squeeze your shoulder blades together at the back and open your armpits right up and then bring them forwards and back. So you're going to be bringing those elbows right forwards. You might hear some crunching, especially if you're immobile. And then again, going backwards again, and always try and squeeze those armpits together at the back and try and go your full range of motion. So now your shoulders should be feeling quite nice and warm. Then what you're going to do is you can have your arms wherever you want. I tend to hold them here, and we're just going to twist our body from side to side, again going as far as you can go. If you've got tight hips or tight back, you might find that this is quite difficult. And just work your way through this. Again, 10 to 20 times. Really waking up that back. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come down onto the mat and we're going to stay focused on that back and into the shoulders. So we're going to come into a tabletop positions like this. We're going to have our head and neck nice and aligned. So everything should be nice and straight. You're not looking down like this. You're not looking up like this. Everything is going to be nice and aligned. And we're going to take some cat-cows. So what you're going to do is you're going to push up through your hands, arch that back and tuck your pelvis. So this is into the up position. To come down, you're going to come back down into neutral position and then pop that bum in the air and then bring that head up as far as feels comfortable for you and squeeze those shoulder blades together at the back. And then you're just going to flow back to the top. And you want to work through these around about 5 to 10 times. You're going to put one hand on the back of your head and you're going to point your elbow to the top of your ceiling. So pointing it all the way up and really feel like stretching. Then you're going to bring your elbow down to the floor and try and tuck it underneath your hand. I'll show you this on the other side in a second. So coming down and then trying to put that shoulder on the floor and back up. If your range of movement is like this, that's fine. We want to just improve it. So the more you do this, the more that you'll be able to do the full range of movement. So to show you from the other side, hand up, point towards the ceiling, and then bring that shoulder down and elbow through. This side for me is tighter, and I can feel it in my lower back. But the more I do this, the more I'll open up. So that's us working at our back and our shoulders. It's all nice and warm. Now we want to think about our hips. So you might have done this in primary school. So what we want to do is we want to do some hip circles. So you're going to go one direction, you're going to take them nice and wide if you can, as wide as you can, and push out to the side. So we're getting full range of movement with our hips. Again, about 10 to 15, and then you're going to reverse and go the other way. If you have lower back pain here or tightness in your hips, you might find that you're getting stuck. I personally have an injury here, so this side feels fine. I get to this side and my hip feels stuck and I just come round. The more that I do this though, the more that this side will loosen up. Once you've done that, we're going to do some hip openers. So open the gate, close the gate. So ideally, if you can, stand on one foot and try and balance. If you do not have a balance, grab yourself a chair to hold on to. So you're going to come up to one foot. So you're going to bring everything open and open up as wide as you can and bring it back down, back up to the top, back into the middle and back down. At this point, you can continue on the same side, or you can do more of an alternate. So back down, up, back into the middle, and switch to the other side again. Or you can stay on the one side. Again, for me, this hip is the tight one, so when I open up like this, I can feel it here, and I also do not have full mobility to come all the way out unless I push it. So if you feel like your mobility is opening you up here and that's as far as you can go, that is fine. After a few weeks of doing this, you might find that you're able to open up a little bit more. So now that our hips are opened up a little bit more, we want to start opening up from the back and the front. So we're going to come down into a low lunge. And what we're going to do is we're going to push forwards until you feel a stretch here. So we're not bringing our knees all the way over like this, we're really engaging the hips. So you're going to push your hips forwards. You might already feel a pull down the front of your thigh into your quadriceps, and then you're just going to rock backwards and forwards, feeling that stretch there. You can see that I'm not moving that far and I'm feeling a nice stretch into my hip flexor here. So just do that to your range of movement again. And remember, you're not just rocking backwards and forwards like this, because this can cause a bit of issue with your knee. So it's all about this hip on the side. If I switch to the other side so you can see what I'm doing on this side, again, I'm tucking my pelvis, feeling the stretch down the leg that's at the back, and then pushing forwards and backwards, feeling that nice stretch. I want to think about our hamstrings now. So I've got a couple of options here depending on whether you like to be on your knees or not. Sometimes people's knees might get a little bit achy. If they do, you can pop a cushion underneath your knees. I'll start off with the standing one. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring one foot forward, bend that back knee and just push back, and you're going to sweep your hands all the way down until you feel a stretch down that straight leg. So down and then standing up and then doing it again. So pushing those hips back up. And this should open up your hamstrings and make you feel nice and awake in the back of your hamstrings. Once you've done that, again, switch to the other side. So as you can see, back leg is going to be bent. I'm going to be pushing my hips back. Front leg is nice and straight. Hands are coming back, scooping down and then coming back up. Scooping down and coming back up. If you can't feel that or you want a different alternative, you're going to come into a low lunge position like we were with the hip flexors, and we're going to push backwards, come onto our heels and feel the stretch down here, and just roll backwards and forwards. So you can do 2 in 1 here. You can do your hip flexor stretch and into your hamstring. If you push back, you'll feel a stretch here and then coming back up, and then obviously switching onto that other side, pushing backwards and then coming back up. Now we have warmed up our hips, our hip flexors, into our quads a little bit and into our hamstrings. We are going to work on our calf muscles now, so we're just going to do some calf raises. You might have done these before, super simple, coming up onto your toes and then back down. You do not need to add weight to this, you do not need to go onto single leg. This is a warm-up, remember, just mobilizing your ankles and your calves. Then we're going to come down onto the mat and we're going to wake our glutes up. What we're going to do is we're going to lie on the mat, bring our feet round about hip distance apart. Toes and knees are going to be pointing the same direction, and we're going to pop these hips up to the top. So what we're going to do is push up to the top, squeeze our bum at the top, hold it for a little, like 1 or 2 seconds, and then come back down. So squeeze at the top, come back down. Just waking up these muscles here. So those were some mobility exercises that you can do. There's a lot of other variations as well, but this one will set you up for success. And if you do need some extra variations, what I recommend is that you go through to my Facebook group, Female Bosses Health Fitness Strength. Tell me where you feel like you need to mobilize more, and I'll give you some alternatives.